This is Siduction 18.1.0 based on Debian Unstable or Debian SID, hence the spelling of Siduction with an I, and it features the LXQt 0.12 desktop. I did a few videos on Siduction 17.1.0, and I used it on my internal drive as my main operating system for a while and was quite pleased with it. That had the LXQt 0.11 desktop, and there have been a few incremental changes. I won't go over all of the changes between LXQt 0.11 and 0.12. You can find them on the LXQt website. Most of them are rather technical. However, I've noticed a few changes in the desktop as it appears, and I'm going to go over those. Here's a look at the operating system. It uses the Linux 4.14.10 kernel, and it's based on Debian Unstable, as I said. Now, I've had this on an internal hard drive for some time, and I honestly can't remember which applications came with it and which I installed. But one thing that's obvious when you look at any of them is that they're all quite up to date. I just finished a review of MX17, which is based on Debian Stable, and it includes a lot of enhancements over Debian Stable, but there's still a lot of rather old applications in the Debian Stable repository. Here, that's not the case. Of course, LibreOffice is up to date. It's version 5.4.4.2. Musescore, which I know I installed, is version 2.1. With MX17 based on Debian Stable, I had to get this from an app image, but the app image worked. Kdenlive, which I believe I installed, is version 17.12.0. This is versus 16.12.0 from the Debian Stable repository. But it's the same version that I was able to get as an app image in MX17. The difference is that the app image version of 17.12.0 didn't work. It froze every time I tried to install a new file in the project, but this one works. And I've actually begun to use it to edit this video. You get the idea. Apparently, the app image of Kdenlive 17.12 did not work, not Kdenlive 17.12 itself, because the only difference here is that this is straight from the Debian Unstable repositories. Now, just a couple of things I wanted to mention. When I was using version 0.11 of LXQt with Siduction, there really wasn't a lightweight Qt-based text editor. There was this JuffEd text editor, which is rather sophisticated for programmers. The line numbers appear by default, etc. However, now there is a new one, Qt-based and lightweight, called Featherpad. Now, this was also used in MX17, but it's a Qt-based application. a lightweight tabbed plain text editor based on Qt 5. So that's somewhat representative of the current state of the LXQt project. The basic desktop interface works quite well. I never had any problems with it. Some people may have. There may be some technical issues which are slowly being resolved, but they haven't bothered me so far. But what I've found is that it lacked a full complement of Qt-based applications, and slowly those are being provided, such as Featherpad, for instance. Now the PCman FM file manager is the Qt-based version. I like this menu, which is called the application menu. It's one of my favorite menus, the other one being the application menu in the KDE Plasma 5 desktop. The reason is that it has the search function at the bottom, which makes it easier to find applications such as Synaptic Package Manager. But it's also a cascading menu. Menus like the Cinnamon menu, the Brisk menu, the Whisker menu, etc. are enclosed, and so you constantly have to scroll down to find things. Here you don't have to scroll down. Probably the worst situation here is you have to go to a third cascading menu to find some things, but it's very well organized and it's a lot faster. The Whisker menu does have the advantage of being extendable, but if you've ever seen any of my videos about it, at a certain point you get to the point where you can't extend it far enough to avoid scrolling. I wish this type of menu were available on all Linux distributions. And it has a version of libsane, which is required by the drivers for my scanner and dozens of other scanners, which is unfortunately not available in Ubuntu 17.10. Taking a look at the repositories on the Synaptic Package Manager, you notice that there's the Debian unstable main contrib non-free branch. There's the Siduction extra unstable from the University of Stuttgart. And there's the Siduction.org unstable fixes, main contrib non-free. There are a number of other options here, such as testing, and there's also the experimental repositories, which I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. As a result of the fact that you have the Siduction repositories, in addition to the Debian repositories, you have some things that aren't available from Debian. For instance, you have Firefox 57. The only Firefox that's available directly from Debian is Firefox ESR. Now with Simple Screen Recorder, I'm using 524,492 kilobytes of memory in zero swap. This isn't quite as light as LXDE, but it's light enough and very fast. One thing I wanted to mention that I mentioned on the previous version of Siduction is This version of LXQt has window snaps, whereas normally LXQt does not yet at least support window snaps. And the reason it has window snaps is that it uses the XFWM or the XFCE window manager. This undoubtedly adds a little to the resource requirements, but I find window snaps such an aid to productivity that I'm not willing to use a system which does not provide them. So if you want a system that can be used in production and has up-to-date software, Siduction 18.1.0 with the LXQt desktop may be what you're looking for. This is XRAM Tech. Thanks for watching.